Hi everybody, it's Ben Ash from Sam Ash Music, and we're here for another live stream, this time with our friends from Yamaha. So today we are focusing on the YC61 stage keyboard, and let me bring on our special guest for this evening, afternoon, morning, depending on where you are in the world, Blake Angelos. What's up, Blake?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well.
Good to see you, Ben. So, yeah, here we are.
Yeah, we
again.
So yeah, if you didn't catch us last time, we did the montage keyboard with Blake, who did an awesome job. And so he's come to show his expertise again, this time with the YC61 stage keyboard. And this is a very cool keyboard for those that like playing live. And hopefully when we all go back to stages and doing drive-ins or doing concert halls or performing in New Zealand, because it seems to be the only place you can perform live, this will be a great keyboard for you. Also, it's great for home. But needless to say, we just wanted to say thank you for tuning in, whether you're coming in from Facebook or YouTube. If you like what you're seeing and want to learn more, definitely ask questions. We're here. I'm even going to put up a banner so you and your friends know. Boom. Ask us any and all questions. We want to help answer these questions for you. That's what's great about doing these live streams is this is not a video where you're looking at the features and you're like, well, I wish I knew about this. We're here to help answer these questions. We're here to help you in any way, shape, or form, whether it's Sam Ash oriented or whether it's Yamaha oriented. And Blake's going to be able to answer all of your questions. This guy is a Yamaha product specialist, guru of all things keyboard. He knows it all. And if he doesn't know it all, he's going to learn it and he'll never forget it.
That's exactly right.
So we've got a lot to go into, but before we do, I do want to mention that during this broadcast, if you check the description, we are giving away 2 pairs of Yamaha HPH MT7 headphones. So I will be selecting 2 random winners. Description for the contest is in our Facebook and YouTube description. If you need help, just say in the comments, where's the contest entry? I don't know where it is. And then I'll pin it or something like that. But enter it. It'll be live from the beginning to the end of this broadcast, 5 to 6. And we'll be happy to do whatever we can to answer your questions about this keyboard. So let's jump right in. So Blake, tell us about yourself. Tell us what's so great about the YC61.
Well, the YC61. Well, about me, here's something about me. There are lots of keyboards that I get to see in my role at Yamaha over the last 20-something years. And there are some that are really especially kind of captivating and really speak to me. Montage definitely being one of them. You know, we talked about that last time that I think I said something similar about that montage as a synthesizer is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my time at Yamaha. But when it comes to just straight up what gets to me as a musician, as a player, as somebody that's always wanted to kind of play organ, but also wants to have something that is just a great piano, just a great thing for gigs. The YC61 to me is the ideal instrument, especially just for playing and just getting lost in it, because it sounds so good, it feels really good, but then it also has a very fast one-to-one interface. So when you're playing and you don't want to pull away from the music, and you just want to play and you just want to explore and experiment, the YC61 is uniquely sort of designed to do that. So that would be my main thing I would talk about. Just if somebody asked me about, so, you know, give me an idea of what the YC61 is. Well, it's an organ-focused stage keyboard, definitely. It has drawbar organs. In fact, I can give you the look of this thing and still be in this. So, you know, you see it in front of you right here. For one thing, just look at it. It just looks so cool.
It's
you know,
cool,
when you look at it,
clean. That's what's nice.
Yeah,
you can see everything, and it's
yeah,
not confusing,
exactly.
So.
And there's just some really cool, just straight up design things. If you just were to walk over to it in a store, or you can see, you know, when you walk over, you kind of just sort of look at different things on here. And I'll just go over this and just sort of, you know, and then we can talk about what's inside. But if you just talk about the design and the look of it, you know, you have these cool pitch lever and modulation lever, kind of is what it is. And it's a cool design. It's a really fast design. So if you want to do pitch bending, it's all sort of right here, and it's a nice feeling, yet unique design. And then as you go over, you look at these drawbars, and you see that how they're designed. As I pull down a drawbar, you see each of the of the LEDs behind it, light up. And even though that I moved from something that maybe had this drawbar at this position, I still know that this one's in the full pull down drawbar area. And if I just move it, it'll jump to it, right? So you just saw it do it there. But you can still see there's this little translucent strip that the designers put in here that you can see behind it where you're at. So it's just these little design cues that really draw me in. And then, of course, you have upper and lower manual. So if you have a two manual organ, another cool thing about the YC is if I have a second keyboard, I can easily just MIDI directly into it. It has super simple setups to put the lower manual to a lower keyboard, and you can play the upper manual on the upper keyboard if you want to do it that way. But notice that when I hit the lower, oh look, the LEDs change. So I can see at a glance, blue is upper manual, red is lower manual. And there's 7 LED drawbar configurations that you can set these up. And that's just cool. It's something that before we were on this thing, you were talking about some guitar things. And the thing about guitar players is they get all sorts of stuff like this. They get cool finishes and just cool designs and stuff. And keyboard players, somewhat do. This is one of those type of products. It hits me in the same way that from an emotional standpoint, that I think, a nice handcrafted acoustic guitar or a really cool, custom guitar, electric guitar would hit a guitar player. It has that kind of like, whoa, this is so cool, because you can customize it. But just looking at the organ section alone, just this part right here, just look at that. It's cool. What a great design. But then I'll come back to the center section here. This is sort of where it all comes together, where you can recall things. This is the live set section. That's what we call it. All it does is recall different, like if I touch something else here, see, it just recalled a different live set right there. So other things turned on. So that's all that it does. It saves sort of the configuration of what's been turned on and what's off. And you can see stuff changing right there. Another thing is, you notice as I'm changing, you see like when the organ section's off, nothing's off. But if I turn it on, it comes on, right? But you see if I select another sound here, this one's analog lead pad. Just to give you an idea, there's a huge range of sounds in this instrument. There's great organs, there's great acoustic pianos, electric pianos, there's great synth sounds, synth pads, synth leads. I should mention, since I'm talking about synth and the organ too, there is actually a special FM synthesizer in this. One of them that, well, I'll talk about the keys section. In the keys section, you have synth leads that are FM synth leads. You have electric pianos that are FM electric pianos. But we also use the same FM technology. We just use it a little differently in the organ section. There's 3 different F organs. One's kind of a sine wave organ. One's kind of a more of a sawtooth. One's more of a square wave type, to kind of simulate different combo organs of the past, 50 years or so. But anyway, just talking about that. Also in the others section, you have things like orchestral brass and things like that. You also have 2 key section here that I just simply turn on and off. Both of these key sections have their own effects processor. So if I select keys B and I turn on these 2 effects here, and I'll select just some different effects so you can see the difference, and I go to the keys A here, watch how they change there. So even though there's the same controls, depending on whether or not you're looking at keys A or keys B, there's separate effects processing for either of those 2 as well. Plus, I have a separate effects processor here that I can sort of route to where I want, my utility effects processor. There's a speaker amp simulator over here. That's where the rotary speaker settings are. There's 2 rotary speakers in here. There's also some cool amp simulations, reverb, and finally a master EQ. So that's just kind of a lay of the land sort of look at the YC. So yeah, there's my quick introduction for that.
That was awesome. So now that we've seen the lay of the land, if you will, let's break it down so that our viewers know all of these facets in depth. So maybe let's start off with discussing the thing that everybody cares about is the sounds. Let's talk about
Sure.
it. We've got synths.
Well, I'll start over here. I'll start
Yeah,
over here with the with just the H organs over here. So rotary speaker switch right here. And I can also assign the rotary speaker switch to use that pitch slider. So really fast, nice sounding organ with rotary speaker. Rotary speakers over in this side over here, there's two types of rotary speakers that I can assign to the drawbar organ, the vintage drawbar organ. One of them is just a straight up just rotary speaker. Rotary B has a transistor preamp that we put in front of it, so it gives it a little bit more. You can hear just a little bit more bite to it. So I also have drive and tone controls over here as well. So if I want a little bit of a darker sound with more drive, or if I want a little brighter sound. So that's the rotary B with a little bit more bite into it.
So the nerd in me that loves classic rock, I have to ask, and without playing the songs as they are, because we don't want to get flagged, can you get that kind of Boston organ or even a Deep Purple style organ? Because you were saying
Sure.
There's some bite and there's some, just obviously don't
Yeah.
play them verbatim, but just show that you can get those really
so
great classic sounds.
You have different drawbar settings here. So if I pull down some of these ones here that give you sort of a little bit of the... all drawbars. Or pull it down to maybe 4 down. Or in the case of someone like Deep Purple, I don't think he used actually a rotary speaker. He used a big Marshall stack or something like that.
Oh. So you can make it so it sounds like it's playing through a guitar amp.
Absolutely, yeah. There's lead, crunch, and double are basically guitar amp sounds. And then you also have those amplifier sounds. You have some really cool amplifier settings inside the keys section as well. There's also guitars in this that are mind-blowingly good.
So if you are a tribute musician and you tend to do these cover things, instead of trying to be authentic and have your keyboard go through a heavy tube amp to get that sound, which I'm sure would sound great, this is even better because you're going through the PA to get a better, clearer signal instead of having to worry if your guitar amp is mic'd right and then you play those notes and it overpowers. So now you got it all encased in one keyboard to get those keys sounds. And it's even great for recording. So you don't have to do, like you said, you don't have to record a guitar amp with the keyboard going through to get that true sound. It's just plug right in. And we'll get into how it connects to computers and whatnot and all that. But I do think that's amazing. And I'm curious, can you do like a Green Onions-esque type of like more muted type of organ?
Yeah, so with that one, how I would do that one, so just so you know about, that's a funny story. I don't think the rotor was working on that organ. So,
go figure.
So I think... I'm not sure what the drawbar settings are. Hey, if you Google them, just tell me, and if you just say 808, that I think it's something more like a... Or maybe with something up here. I'm not sure what the settings are, but you can get to it absolutely. And again, I don't think there was. So I believe that 4 out, so 8 right? Yes. So I believe this is kind of cool too. I think you'd have to put the rotary speaker to stop to get the green onion sound, since I believe the rotor was broken. I have a friend of mine that is a serious organist, and he said, yeah, that's the truth. That's kind of it, isn't it?
So
that's it. Yeah.
No, it sounds great. So
stop. That's
we've
what I
talked
did.
a lot about organs. We clearly know with the drawbars that you can do organ sounds. Here's where I'm going to throw you possibly through a loop, and I'm very curious. Can you use the drawbars to do things with other non-organ type sounds?
Not internally here, but I can absolutely use them to control VST instruments. Every single one of these controls sends out MIDI control information.
We'll talk more about drawbars in a bit. I just want to make sure that we cover everything.
Yeah. I want to say something else too. Now, let's say that's close, but I wish there was some things I can do to this organ to change it. Well, the first thing you can do is just switch it to H2 or H3. So I should say that there are 3 H models in here. H being the vintage drawbar organ sound, right? Okay. So H1 would be like the one that's in the studio, okay? So if you know anything about these old organs, there's all sorts of things that can happen with things like leakage and stuff like that, where harmonics sort of blend into one another. And so H2 has a little bit different harmonic character. I didn't do anything. I just changed the organ. Check it out. Here's H2. It's subtle, but you hear up there, right? Now, if I realize that I want a little bit more of that sound, I can easily drop into the organ settings in here and just change things like leak level. Check it out when I turn it all the way up. That high pitchedness, or I can pull it down, or I can find whatever the sweet spot is that I like in there, or I like maybe, I kind of like the leakage. So things like that you can quickly tweak, or in just changing the sound here. So H2 would be more like the played in one that's in sort of the bar. H3, this one's like a customized one. That has a definitely different highs on it. Plus, if I run it through the rotary here and I add a little bit, maybe rotor B. That I love how it.
I love totally that just little different thing at the end. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. So you have that's one of the cool things about this instrument, is that in this settings area where you just go organ settings, and it's just really easy to get to it. Organ settings, key A, B settings, and then rotary speaker settings. So I can also go into the rotary speaker and do some cool things here as well. Let's say that something I'm missing in here, and you heard it actually in that video at the beginning that you showed with Dom Segalis did that video. And the first thing he does in there is he turns on the background noise of the rotary speaker, and he turns it up. So right now it's there, but it's real light. Check it out when I turn it all the way up. So all that is just the air going through the rotary speaker. Now I'm going to slow it down.
Oh, so if you really want to be authentic, you do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's still,
It's the little things, though.
And check it out when you stop it. And then speed it up again.
I love the little light that shows you how fast the rotary signal's going.
I know, isn't that cool? It's actually
I love the
accurate
little
too.
touches.
Yeah, you see, and what this is showing here is horn and rotor speed. So you can adjust the speed and the balance of the horn and the rotor, which is very, very cool. The thing I love about this in here too is if I go into the rotary speaker control here and I select things like level, I can adjust the balance between the horn and the rotor. The horn is what generates most of the higher frequencies, and the rotor is what generates the lower frequency. So if I want a little bit more low end, and all my stuff has a lot more low end than high end, I can adjust those things right inside the inside the editing for the organ and the rotary speaker.
So,
pretty cool, huh?
It's awesome. So I just want to make sure, because we've just covered so many sounds just
the
in the
organs.
first half hour. And I mean, we could go forever, but we've got an hour to go into. There is one thing. Can you just quickly? Someone wants to hear orchestral sounds. They specifically said want to hear violins, orchestra. Okay. Douglas McKnight.
Yeah.
Literally, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Well, orchestral sounds. Okay, so here's one right here. So I just turned off here. The rotary speaker gone. So what I did was I just went into a live set to find some horns. We'll start with that, okay? So this one's kind of... So I might want to change the touch response. You know what I love about this? Touch response is right here. Oh, I want a little softer. There. Now this one. That's how fast it is to get to things. On a gig, man, changing touch response, I love that I can get to it this fast. Certain things respond differently. Pianos, I'd probably want a harder touch response. So with this particular one, I really don't want to work so hard to get the loud. To get to that. So they also said strings, right? So let's grab some strings in here. So right now I just have strings and horns is what I call this, but I started with fast strings in here. So, and this is analog-y strings. It's not, no, they're not. And let's say you just want to check out some string sounds. Well, if I touch right here, I'm in the others category, and that's where the strings and guitars and orchestral sounds, they're in that category. Not synth, not electric piano, not piano, but others. So here's Marcato strings. There's slow strings.
Like a paddle.
And then you can also turn on the second key section here. So right now it's a horn section, but what if I wanted to have just a nice thick string section in here? And again, you also have effects over here that I can bring into this world as well. So I'm in the guitars here. Strings are right through here. So I have fast tremolo strings, pizzicato strings. Let's do a nice slow strings with fast strings. And let's say what I want is on the fast strings, I'd like those an octave down. So I select B, there's your octave switch. And, so far, these are totally with no effects. Turning on effects can add a lot of stuff to it. So right now I have chorus in here, harmonic enhancer, different effects that I can bring in here as well. So you're hearing things pretty unaffected right now because I wanted to show it that way first. But then if you want to massage that, change it up, add some different effects. Like ones that I like to use in here would be stuff like the compressor maybe and the harmonic enhancer. So that's on B right here. See, B, B. So
Oh, there's a lot of subtlety with those. It's a little quiet on our end.
Yeah, sorry, I'm bringing it up here. All sorts of effects you can add to it. Yeah, so you can go from fairly natural things all the way to more out stuff. And there's also some solo strings in here. And I'll turn on just the solo strings would be right here.
See, this is a great synthesis style keyboard.
Or let's see, tremolo strings are kind of cool too. Oops, sorry, that was violin. I had, oh, sorry. What am I doing? I was on the wrong thing here. There's tremolo strings here. You know, little for music scores and so on. And then, of course, the last one I'll show you and we can move on here is tape strings. Tape strings. So like the, you know, tape strings.
So that's really incredible how many types of tones you can manipulate. And and I'm sure there's more you can do with the sounds. We're going to go into that in a moment, but
sure.
Mark,
without diving in, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, Mark wants to know, can you transpose? I would think the answer is yes, but could you, if it is, could you show us how seamless it is?
Sure. There's a transpose button right here. So I just grabbed a piano sound here. And the singer comes in and goes, do you know that song? Sure, I know it in the key of E flat, but I want to play it in F sharp.
Or C sharp.
Sure, or C sharp. So E flat, so I have to go down, right? Now I'm in C sharp. Nice. And you know what's cool? I can save that inside the live set. So if I know that particular singer, you know, Rick or whatever, I can name this CFX Rick and know that it's a full step south of where I'm at and recall that instrument. So check it out. See? Now look when I change to another sound. Ooh, sorry.
Always a Rick.
So again, transpose, doom. In fact, I'll just save it right now. So I like that. That's where it's going to stay. I'm going to store it here. I just have to remember to not keep it in here, but hit enter and done. So if I'm in here to this sound, right, and I go to another sound, maybe a different direction here. How about here's this sound here, right? Guitar sound, right? So I'm going to hold this sound here. I'm going to switch to that sound. It was right here. Now you notice you can still hear this sound decaying. So it does seamless switching, but now we're in that other key.
So this is considered seamless sound switching, I would think.
Yes, exactly.
So you're like, I love the fact that when there's a keyboard that you can do something that has a long reverb and then not worry that when you switch a sound, the reverb's going to stop decaying just to get the new sound.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about this instrument is that it has that. So let me grab something that's like well, we'll do the horn sound because that's a nice one that holds for a while. So now I've just switched sounds. Okay,
you're still holding it. Oh, cool. Sounds like a new Zorro movie or something that involves kings and queens.
Cool, isn't it?
Cool.
You know, this instrument Stage keyboard is an absolutely perfect name for this instrument. It's designed thinking, what are stage musicians, what do they really need? They need great piano sounds, electric piano sounds, organs, but they also need these usability things where you don't cut off a sound when you go to the next thing. It's great for worship. Boy, that's the biggest thing I hear from worship keyboard. Is one of the first 3 questions they ask me after, does it have good pianos? Does it have this? Does the sound cut off when I go to another sound? I can say yes, yes, yes on all. It does not cut off. No, it doesn't cut off would be the
I
answer.
was thinking not only is it great for worship, it seems like a great keyboard if you work in a pit for a show, if you do Broadway or something, especially when, because I know sometimes a pit is a keyboard is doing 99% of the work. And so the fact that if there's cues and commands and you have, like, you never know if the singer's going to hold a note for how long, but if you need to switch to the next song quickly, you don't have to worry about a patch interrupting it and sounding out of place.
That's exactly right. Well, check this out.
I don't mean to interrupt. I was going to say,
no,
because it's a small keyboard. So if you're in a pit, which is notoriously crowded, you don't have to worry about, if, say, you don't need all 88 keys. 61 keys can get the job done fine if you're doing just like mid-range type tones without doing like any going across the keyboard type stuff.
Yep. Well, let me expand on that a little bit too. So I guess it wasn't the last one, but the one before, we do this thing called Tech Talk Live on our Yamaha synth channel on YouTube. Check it out every Tuesday at it's 1 o'clock my time, so it's what, 4 o'clock East Coast time. Anyway, we did a thing on Camelot. Camelot is a really cool software that allows you to basically do anything you want to control different keyboards and be controlled and stuff like that. So working something like that, one thing that I love about this instrument is that it's also a USB audio and MIDI interface. So you could feasibly use something like Camelot and control things from there and have different routing stuff, but you could also just use this alone and connect it to a DAW or something like that, and play virtual instruments from here and monitor it from here. You don't need an extra audio interface. And something like that, Camelot, some virtual instruments, this can totally run an entire show, no problem, in a pit. It's absolutely designed to do stuff like that. And the fact that you have all of these controls in here, well, these controls obviously control the sounds inside the keyboard, but you can control, things inside of a virtual instrument as well, because again, these all send out MIDI controller information. It's a cool thing too, where you can do some really cool automation with this instrument too, and recall it. And because obviously, since it sends out MIDI information, it will recall it as well. So if you want, on the bridge of a tune, you want it to go like this. Well, here, let me turn on my my picture in picture again. Say on the bridge of a song, I have keys A on here, but keys B off. Here comes the bridge, and what happens is, boom, it just automatically switches, because that's a MIDI controller that sends out a little system exclusive that does that. Or if it goes like this, that's on the C section, and this one is just the organ over here. All that can be automated inside of a DAW. So for a production standpoint, from a pit musician standpoint, especially in New York, absolutely. I think about this all the time because I actually do have a friend of mine that does that for a living. And I always, send him some email and stuff. He uses our stuff. He uses a lot of stuff though, but he's always looking for things just like this, that things are automated. They move right to the next, scene in a show or whatever. So yes.
So let's make sure with the little time we have left that we cover everything, because let's get some of the quick answer stuff out of the way. So does it come with a case?
No, but we have a really cool case for it.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Well, here, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna
soft case.
Watch this.
Oh, I'm watching. Okay, so we see headphones holding a hell of a chord. Oh, I'm intrigued. Let's see what we got.
And he's back. Okay.
And he's back.
Since you asked, here I am.
There you are. Look at that.
So yes,
Added
it's a
goodness.
soft case, but it's a seriously awesome case because if you open this part up in here, I mean, this case, let me tell you, we were excited when we saw this case for the first time. We were like, yes, because so as you can tell, this was set up for a gig, but there's my cables in here. You can sort of see it. Let me get it in front of the camera there. It has pedal.
Oh, it comes with a pedal?
No, it doesn't come with a pedal, but
all right, just clarifying the
pedal that you do buy with it, right? But there's little areas in here for the pedals. There is also I just want you to see inside of it. Super luxurious inside here. Super luxurious inside here, right? The last thing, two things. Yamaha YC, I like how this is, but this was the coolest little. Do you see this?
Yeah.
It's just a little piece of material, right?
Right, little tag.
Right. So why is it red, white, black? Let me show you. Here's why. I think I moved it a little bit, but see the drawbars? Red, white, black, right? Okay. See the drawbars?
To match it just like that. Little touches. See, that's what
I'm telling you, man.
Guys. Everything. This should be YC61. The little touches.
It really is. Oh, by the way, it's a backpack, man. It's a real backpack. It actually has these little connectors. So if you want to connect it across your chest to make sure it doesn't fall off your arms. I mean, this is such a well-designed. Yeah. By the way, speaking of this sucker is 15, 16 pounds, super light, but it's aluminum alloy chassis. One thing I always point out about the YC and just about Yamaha is that, man, we have metallurgical resources because we not only make musical instruments, brass instruments, drum hardware, stuff like that. We also have a really serious motor division. So we got some metallurgists that work for Yamaha. So they come up with really cool, lightweight, very, very strong materials. That's why our stuff is built to last.
There's a tweet that reminds me, speaking of motor, like it's a Yamaha is easily the best saxophone and motorcycle manufacturer on the market or something like that.
And it's funny because we didn't start doing that. We were doing musical instruments since 1887. We didn't start making motorcycles until...
Your logo's just 3 tuning forks. There goes your backdrop.
Yeah, hold on one
minute. We now see behind the scenes of Blake's
Yeah, you know what is behind the scenes? Labrador retrievers that broke into my house.
I see a tail.
It's a live stream.
I don't know whether to hide the camera.
Hold on.
You know what? I'm going to hide the camera. People will look at me while you finish the set.
Oh my God.
Blake's dog certainly made an adorable appearance.
Yes, they did.
While Blake is getting set up again, I just think that is awesome that you can get this soft case on the side. And it's those little things that just make Yamaha show that they care. I don't know if you're in front of the mic, but if you can answer this question, I know you've got your dog running amok. He's really running amok.
If there's anything that proves that we were live,
yeah, really,
that'd be it. Wow. Yeah, I thought I had my door shut. So okay, is that okay now? Hopefully, I've got it back.
So speaking of which, we got Blake back. You were saying that the case is only so heavy. How heavy is the keyboard itself? Say you didn't have the case, or you have your own case for it.
16 pounds. Let's just say 16. It's like 15.10, something like that. But about 16 pounds. Super light. Super light.
Wear it on your back, or you're holding it in your hand. That's really not a lot.
Super light, but when you touch it, and it's really solid though, and that's part of again what I was talking about, manufacturing and metallurgy and things like that. The aluminum alloy is really light, really strong though. And I should say one other thing. This also has a brand new waterfall style key action as well.
So I definitely, and that's actually what I want to go into is the touch of the keyboard? Because you're saying it's a pretty light keyboard, but people are like, well, if it's that light, it may not have weighted keys, or the keys may feel different. So for those at home that can't physically put their hands on these keys, how would you describe them?
It's very much like a classic organ action. The waterfall key, what is the benefit of the waterfall key is on a key, piano key, you have a little lip, like this is the key top, right? And this is the key going down. There's a little lip on the end of it, right? On a piano.
On most traditional keyboards.
Yeah, that's on, yeah, just a piano style action. Now that's fine and everything, but on a weighted action keyboard, when you try to do things like palm slurs and stuff like that, you can really hurt your hands. So organs have been designed with this kind of a key action. In fact, it's better to do it like this, kind of, if I could make this straight. That would be like a waterfall key where the end goes off like a waterfall. It's not a lip over the end, just straight down, right? Boom. So that's what this has on it. And it's a different action, no question about it. If you're a pianist, it takes a little bit of getting used to it, but it didn't take me that long at all. In fact, I started to prefer using it because it has a little bit of resistance behind it. So it doesn't really feel like a synth action, but it certainly doesn't feel like a weighted action. It's its own type of action, and it was specifically designed for this product, for it being an organ focused stage keyboard. So, but playing on it is really super easy. Like if I just grab a straight up piano sound like the one I have here, for example. What do I have here? Oops, I grabbed the wrong sound. I went too far. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. I find it really easy to play it. You can be really, really soft. And again, you have the touch response right here. So right now it's set to soft. Well, if I set it to hard, that's usually what I do when I use pianos. So it's, so I can get around on it and have a huge dynamic range. So from a pianist point of view, this is kind of my overarching point here. It's really, really very easy to get used to, and you'll find yourself really liking it in a lot of ways. I really love this waterfall action. But for organ stuff, that's the thing that makes this really cool. Is that going like this? All that kind of stuff. If you did that on a weighted action too much, you'll hurt your hands. I had another live stream interview with a guy, was it Tom Brooks, who plays the musical director for Alan Parsons' project. He was talking about this. He had to play a gig where he was playing, trying to do organ stuff on a weighted action keyboard, and he cut his hands up pretty bad because he's really an organist. So if you would try to approach it that way, that's what this is so really killer about this instrument, is that it has that style of action, but it's really easy to also play it if you just play pianos and stuff.
So we're banging on all cylinders with these answers and questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're covering everything else.
And Labrador Retrievers came in.
And Labrador Retrievers.
Yeah, that's 160 pounds of love that just rolled in. So
can you plug in additional devices into it to? I'm assuming there might be an auxiliary input.
There is an aux input. They are 1/4 inch aux inputs, so you can plug them in to this right in the back here. There's a little gain on there as well. So if you had a 2 keyboard setup, let's say, here I'll give you a cool setup. Let's say you have a 2 keyboard setup. You have an 88 note weighted keyboard. That's kind of, let's say you've had it for years, 10 years, let's say. And you still like the electric piano sounds on it, so you still use it and you like the action, but you're sort of done with the piano-ness of it. So, but you still want to use it, right? So you're going to go to the gig. You can take that. You can plug the output of that keyboard into the input jack here on the YC and sum it to the YC's out. So you only have the stereo send to the mixer or whatever, which is pretty cool. Easy setup that way. But the other thing is, let's say you really do like the piano sounds, because the piano sounds in here are amazing. There's a C7 CFX. You know, that's what I was playing before is the C7. But what I want to do is I want to play that lower 88 note weighted keyboard action, but I want to control just the key section. I still want access to the different key section here, right? I wanted the organ definitely because I want to play that on the top. And I want to maybe have something here. Sorry, I should be in this mode here. But you can just control the keys A section from that 88 note weighted keyboard in the same way that we can do the dual manual thing where you can play the lower manual on the lower setting and an upper manual on the keyboard itself. You can do this with an 88 note weighted, where down here I'd be playing this keyboard A section, but still have access to stuff and run the audio output from that lower keyboard into the auxiliary input on the back. So again, this instrument's been designed for stage work. It's really elegantly designed for that, and eloquently as well.
So let's go into more sound territory. So
Okay.
One thing that a lot of musicians are concerned about when buying a product is, okay, so I bought it, I've got my sounds. Am I going to have to buy a new keyboard? What's going to happen? Is this it? Is there going to is there an opportunity to get more sounds? Is there an opportunity to get new firmware? Is this the last version of this?
Excellent questions. Let's start with the first one. Sounds. I want to get sounds. I want to get sounds from different musicians, artists. For me, I have to upload a bunch of my sounds. So I have in my hand here, this is my iPhone. I figured this would be the easiest way to do it. Right now, you can see that that it's set to the last keyboard that connected to it was the Montage, right? Okay, so I'm going to unplug. Let's see, I think it's this one here. I had the YC plugged into my USB hub, but now here's my USB input here. I need just have it. Oh, there it is. So this right here, this is the Luca Lightning to USB camera adapter. This was designed for exactly that, bringing in a camera, but you can do some cool things with it because bringing into camera stuff like, you know, into an iPhone, iOS device. So I plugged it into this guy.
What is it?
I want you to see what. No, it's Lightning. This is Lightning here, and then this is USB there, and then this is the pass through for the Lightning, so you can charge it at the same time.
Right.
They do make an HDMI one too. I have it over here somewhere. Anyway,
yeah, that's the one I have. So I was confused.
Yeah, there's an HDMI one as well that I use actually when I'm. In fact, well, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm using here actually with this. My camera here is an iPad Pro. Okay, dig this.
I'm digging.
So I'm going to plug it in here, and watch what happens when let me get it. Because I want you to watch how this happens. It's really neat. Okay. Now, as soon as I plug this in, and I'll plug it in now, watch what happens. You see it? See what it did? It changed to the YC.
Oh, cool.
So it automatically knows what you plugged into it, right? Even though that before I was using it with the Montage, we support YC on Sound Mondo. So that's what you're looking at. This is Sound Mondo right here.
So what is Sound Mondo?
Sound Mondo is our free social sound sharing site, basically, that end users, our huge community of just customers or of artists or whatever, upload sounds, and you can also download sounds. We have over 65,000 total sounds up there.
That's it. Just 65,000. That's all you guys.
Yeah, that's all of our. That's the entire range. So there's lots of reface, Montage. Yeah, well, we've been doing it for a while, so we've been collecting them. It's really cool.
Even if any of us started now and went through every single sound and jammed on it, you'd probably have another 65,000 by that time.
So right here, I'm going to go over here to this little icon here, and now you're actually looking at the sounds that have been uploaded. Okay, so somebody Well, there's a few of them. Well, here's one from me, but somebody wrote one up there. It's called In a Gada Da Fida. I'm not familiar. Anyway,
Yeah,
check
I'm
this
okay.
out.
I'm sure you've never heard of that song.
When I go like this and I touch on that, wow, that's kind of cool what he did here. Let me show you.
Do a
So
mock version.
he changed it to green drawbar settings. I literally just downloaded it and put it right here. Here it is. If
you
I
can
like that
customize the
sound,
color.
yeah, I told you that before. Yeah, the
I forgot. That was the
drawbar
one
settings.
detail I missed.
Yeah. You can change the drawbar settings, and he chose green. I have never actually used green before, so that was kind of a fun. And he uses the F2 organ on this, so that's the FM organ, combo organ on this. Here, let me turn it up. Sorry. Oh, and then there's a bass down here. So he has a split
so
here too.
Solo.
Yeah, so he's using basically a pick bass on the bottom. Let me put this down. A pick bass on the bottom and the F2 organ on the top. Yeah, cool.
So that can lead us into something else, because what he just showed was that he made it into at least 2 zones. But if I'm not mistaken, you can do 4 zones.
You could. Well, it's
not
really
in a sense. I'm just saying, in general, this keyboard is a 4-zone master keyboard, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes,
that's what I meant. Forgive me. I just noticed.
Yeah.
It. So what does that mean?
When
what is 4 zone?
So you can, on the keyboard itself, the upper and lower manuals of the organ can be split. So they have their own kind of separate split. And then you can split or layer the keys A and B section internally, right? But also in this instrument, it is a 4-zone MIDI controller. So you can send out on 4 separate MIDI channels. You can split or layer. You could put 4 zones across. So you could go, something like, a sound here or some samples here, some stuff here. This could be loops in here, and this could be a synth lead sound here. All of it being controlling an external MIDI device or a VST instrument, virtual instrument rather. Whatever. Yeah. So you can totally do that. Man, this guy's got a lot of cool stuff on here. But I want to show you this before you move away. I'm just going to go like this for a while, so you can see all the sounds that are available to download and check out. So I'll just kind of, how about we just like a slot machine. We stopped on this one. Katsunori Ujie are amazing. So this is one of his sounds in here. And he says, PC exit bliss ver ELP. You can figure that one out. It's all H. So that's definitely that Keith Emerson style killer
Someone
organ.
was curious to know if you can do Owner of a Lonely Heart, but we'll call it Leaser of a solo organ.
I don't know if does it have an organ? Does that tune have an organ on it?
No, it's that like guitar fake sounding thing.
Oh, see, wrong note. Yeah, you can. In fact, check this out. Because I like playing some of the guitars in here as well, just so you can get. In fact, here's a nice little thing, just as a side note here. I call this live set just guitar amps. So there's no effects on this guitar right now. But over here in these effect areas, if I turn this on, British Combo just came up when I turned this on.
Oh, that's cool. Very telly sounding.
Yep, and here's one with now I added an analog delay to that. Okay, now that's one of them, right? So here's one, this one's British lead. Okay, here's one that's called small stereo. And right now I have the drive way up on it, so I can bring it down. And then just a compressor. But I also have in this area, if I turn these guys off, I also have amps over here as well. So if I just route it to keys A, which is what it's set here, these are different ones in here. Here's a or the lead sound up here. Pretty cool, huh?
Very cool.
I mean, this guitar sounds pretty seriously awesome. Yeah.
So, do we go over, you think, enough on 4-zone master keyboard?
Yeah. I mean, I think really just to know that it's in here, that's all you need to know. You can set the 4-zone up so that when I call up a live set sound, it can send out program change with bank select information. It can set the pan of the sound, the volume of the sound. You can send out different MIDI controllers. You can say that I want this zone to respond to sustain pedal, but that zone I don't. So you have lots of, in fact, if you're familiar with any of our MIDI control features and things like Montage, Modi X, CP, it follows that basic scheme.
Okay.
So it's set up to really be a serious MIDI controller, no problem. Absolutely.
So 2 topics left. We've got a minute, but we'll go over a little bit.
Sure.
Direct, immediate, and total sound control. So you were showing it as we were going through, but to those at home that haven't played around with this, what is something that'll make them go, whoa, I need to get one of these?
Okay, here's something I like showing all the time. Here's a looper demo, okay? Because this one, all I'm doing is turning things on and off. So I can start out with this piano sound, okay? All right, just straight up piano.
Can you show us the top down, if you don't mind?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was on. I didn't, but I'll give it, and I'll bring myself back so you can watch. So here's this. Okay, so I like doing this one here. I go, let's see, I'll start out like this. Oops, sorry, let me try this one more time. Oh, I got it there. I'll do it one more time. Okay, so I have the looper delay on here, right?
Okay.
So I can pull out of it and play along with it if I want to, or I can add another sound in here. So that's what I mean about direct immediate sound control. I can move around and grab different stuff in here. The filter control right here. Let's turn on this. Now check this out. I just changed sounds, right?
Right.
So we still have seamless sound switching, but now I still have the looper delay over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's set at the same speed, so I can add to this. you get the idea. So I mean, and I've done better ones than that one before, but you get the idea. You can really do a lot of cool stuff with way different approaches. One of them would be like a loop kind of thing. One of them can be just playing straight up piano stuff. Another one you can add you can just pull up just amazing type of pad sounds like this guy here. And then the thing I love about direct and immediate sound control is you can turn things on and just grab sounds. Turn off that section there. Route the phaser to keys A here. Nice too. This one's a lo-fi effect in here. I still have the organ on. Let's turn that guy off. Okay, now I'll bring the organ back in here. I mean, just trippy, interesting things like that. Or the one I like to show is just this. I love turning the organ on to the guitar, and the organ in this case, I have it so it's I turned on sustain pedal for the organ. Generally that's off, but now it becomes this kind of cool pad sound behind the guitar. Right? And I can turn on this second sound here, and I have this sine wave sort of sound in here. Or just guitar. So that's what I mean. That's that direct, immediate sound control. I can just quickly grab things, turn them on. I'm not diving into a menu. I'm not having to figure out all the synthesis stuff. It's meant to be this very captivating live thing.
Very cool. Just very, I mean, it's just the fact that, there we go.
I'm back.
The fact that you can really just go between sounds. And normally we would have added another 5 to 10 minutes of time onto this because of the fact that, okay, I got to go to this panel and then I got to select this and then I got to turn this and this. But you were just like that, just sound.
That's exactly.
And
that's the whole point of it.
Doing things like loopers and whatnot. So I think that's really cool that you're able to just command the keyboard so quickly.
Yeah.
Last but not least, ironically, you started the whole show talking and highlighting this, but I think there was more we could discuss. And before we go, the thing that makes the keyboard totally unique is the drawbars. So go heavy into this. What makes this different than drawbars you'd see on any competing keyboard? Obviously, we learned that you can change the color of the lights, which is a nice little thing. And that you can manipulate your organs to do tons of stuff. And there's the faders. So if you do something from Sound Mondo, it'll just automatically have it right there and then to have that set up instead of you having to move faders around. But you can move them after someone's customizable version.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, here, I'll kind of approach it this way. What makes this both, I think when it comes to organ, there needs to be two things happening, and I'll put this on here. One of them needs to be, obviously, the things that are traditional organ type parameters need to be there. If they're not there, then nobody would take this seriously. So if you look at this instrument and we just look at this section here, there are 9 drawbars, not 8, but there's 9. So 9 drawbars is one of them, okay? Another thing that's in here are 3 settings for vibrato and chorus, and that's correct from the traditional drawbar organ vibe. That's exactly what they have. They have 3 different settings of here, chorus on, chorus off. So here's vibrato, vibrato 2, vibrato 3, chorus 1, chorus 2, chorus 3. That's correct. That's what I think the traditional sort of organ person is looking for, those types of things. Okay, the next thing over is percussion. So with percussion, when I turn it on, what happens there is on a traditional drawbar organ, when you turn on percussion, it uses the 9th drawbar to create that percussive sound. It was something that was added to give it this sort of attack sound. Listen when I turn it off. Now the 9th drawbar was engaged in this sound here, right? So you hear the 9th drawbar. And let me just talk about what these drawbars are. They're harmonics, right? The fundamentals are anything that's 16, 8. Let me see. I got to read this one. 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1 are all going to be fundamentals, right? And then the harmonics are the other drawbars that bring in, you know, the different kinds of the 5th. So you hear the different harmonics there. And then that top drawbar is the whistler, man. The very... But check it out when I turn on this. See, that's just percussion. And there's 2nd and 3rd harmonic percussion. Again, these are the traditional things. That's the first thing. Okay, now, as far as stuff that's different, this FM organ to me, so this is using FM synthesis, but it's sine waves only, okay? And you're still getting the same harmonics in here. But what I have with this instrument is the ability to route that sound through the rotary speaker. Now, another thing that's cool about the FM organ in this case, that still has the flavor of the drawbar, but it has something else entirely. Now, on a drawbar organ, I'll just quickly show this. Listen to the low end here. I'll just play the lower end here. Hear that right there?
Yep.
Okay, that's called foldback. And what it does, it repeats the octave. It'll drop the octave as I go up to this note here. Hear it go boom, right? Which is cool. That's how the traditional drawbar organ works. Now, if I go to the FM one though, it doesn't have foldback. Now, why that's cool and why that's kind of an interesting, especially for gospel players, is that you have this massive low end. When you route it through the rotary speaker in here, it has this. Sorry, I was a little loud there. That low end is so killer on this. So it still has that sound, but it's a different sound. That is a big differentiator on this product to all the other stuff that's out there. I know there's lots of different types of drawbar organ, then they're great. They're all really cool. What we give you that's different in just this section alone, right, is the FM stuff. You know, the FM stuff here. F2 is one of the combo organs. F3 is yet another one. Then you could say like the English, like the Italian, to give you an idea. But these right here can be routed through stuff like the effects that are over here. So I have auto wah, for example. So that's that F3 combo organ, but it's running through a totally different effect. Or I can go into one of the totally let me find it here. It's Slicer's pretty cool, but lo-fi effect. So the ability to have these type of organ things, but then route them through really cool effects, that is a differentiator definitely on this product. The amount of DSP that you have simultaneously on this instrument is a differentiator. So that's what you're getting when you go, but when you want to do a gig and you need just the traditional type of drawbar organs, it's all right there. All the stuff that's there is there. Plus the design is so cool. Please,
It is
so
Cool.
killer. Drawbar color. Here, watch this. I'll do an upper drawbar color for you. Blue, or would you rather have magenta? I'll go the other way. Blue, cyan, green. I love that one. I've got to use that one. Yeller, red.
Oh,
And I
yeller.
think that's white, and that's it. So
Very
white,
cool.
red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and magenta. Design.
So I think we about covered everything, unless there are questions that anyone who's still watching has. There's 15 of you we see. Please ask any questions. But in the meantime, I'm sure people have been patiently awaiting for the past hour and 15 minutes. Who won pairs of the Yamaha HP?
Oh, that's right.
Do you happen to have drum sounds on there? Because maybe you could do like a drum roll.
That's the one thing this does not really have is drum sounds. For someone who wants a drum sound, if you give me a moment, I'll connect to a virtual instrument. I'll give you some drums.
Do something like dun, 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 like just.
I can do that.
Yeah.
That's running through the.
Okay, so your winners for the Yamaha HPH MT7 headphones are. Devin Casser and Tim Morelli, congratulations. You've been randomly selected to win these headphones. Each of you will get a pair. We will send them to you, so you don't have to worry. We've got the emails, so we'll email you, ask for your shipping address, and we'll send them to you. So again, Devin and Tim, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for entering. Congratulations on winning these headphones. All that being said, this has been an amazing live stream. I think we've covered all of our bases. If anyone has questions, we'll stick around for like another minute. But in the meantime, might as well just throw this out there that Sam Ash Music is doing 24-month financing, and that is applicable to the Yamaha YC61 keyboard. So what I'm going to do is show you that we have it on our site. Let me do a little screen sharing so you guys can see. So this is the keyboard. Let me actually move it so I can see our screen and yours. So this is the keyboard we've just been talking about this entire time. It's listed right now at $1999.99, and you can do $84 per month with 0% interest for 24 months. And you guys know it. It's a killer keyboard. Here's some fancy photos. Ooh. Nice. Come on, load. There you go. Look at this keyboard. Who wouldn't want it?
I should show some before. If we don't have this, if we don't have this in here, I got to show you this then. Okay. We don't have this.
Hold on.
Here. There's one little design thing
we got the
that I will show you.
Engine. We've got the VCM rotary keyboard, the waterfall keyboard, all these beautiful features, including a power supply, so you don't have to worry about getting that separately. It is right here on our site. All you have to do is search Yamaha YC61. We also should have it in our description. I did update it. You can get a 3-year warranty extension or a 2-year warranty extension. I highly recommend it, especially if anything should happen to this keyboard. We'll help cover it, and it's not terrible. It's reasonable considering that if you're going to be a working musician using this thing, should things happen to it, you want to be covered. So this is a killer keyboard. If you guys have any questions, we'll answer them. If you still have questions, but you're watching this as far as it being a repeat, that's okay. Just contact us at samash.com, or you can call us at 1-800-4-SAM-ASH, and we'll be happy to connect you to a representative who also knows about these keyboards, can answer further questions. You can also tweet at Yamaha Online or Sam Ash Music, and we'll try to answer your questions. But I can't imagine what other questions. I'm sure there's always questions, but Blake was a pro, as you saw, and pretty much covered every single base on this keyboard. So, Blake, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, the only thing when you have those pictures up there, it's going to be kind of hard for me to show you this because it's, but underneath the keyboard itself, when you're underneath it, maybe I can do this without destroying anything here. Oh, it's so hard. It says Yamaha YC on the bottom of the keyboard. Okay. So why is that cool? It's cool because as a top keyboard, the Yamaha YC is right there. You can see it when it's at an angle. Little things that they did with the design are just really, really sweet. So underneath, yeah, I've never seen that before, but it's like, that's kind of cool. But just a little thing, little design thing.
But it's
again,
nice
the
that
design
there's
is just
someone
cool.
that's able to point out all these little things, because some of us, including myself, might overlook it or may not even understand like the little tag you were showing on the soft case.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been awesome. I hope we entertained you guys enough. I'm sorry to that one guy in the comments somewhere who wasn't thrilled we were wearing our hats, but it's 2020, buddy.
Oh,
That's all right. I don't mind
he
that you're
wasn't
wearing
thrilled.
a hat.
Okay, you know what? I did actually cut my own hair with a that's why I wear the hat. I wear the hat because I had
I'm surprised. I'm bald. I'm not ashamed of it, but
oh,
also
that's so funny.
maybe
I'm
like
sorry that the whole reason why I'm wearing a hat is because it's it's because my hair was pretty crazy before. Now it's
I'm just
somewhat
wearing
reasonable.
It's nice advertising. Sam Ash Music. There it is.
And mine and I like these. I like them.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
cool.
there we go.
So
there we go.
Someone says hats off to both of us.
Yes.
Private chat. So needless to say, hat controversies aside, this has been great.
Sorry.
Blake, thank you so much for tuning in and giving us
absolutely
more of your time than we had expected. To all of our viewers, thank you. Don't forget to follow both Sam Ash Music and Yamaha Music USA on social media. Both of us are on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. We're here to answer your questions. Also, just follow us if you want to get updates on Yamaha gear in general. And also check us both out on YouTube. I forgot to say that because some of you are watching this on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube for previous Yamaha videos. We've got playlists galore, some featuring our very own Blake Angelos, who shows montage in many of our Yamaha products. Definitely tune in, subscribe, check that notification so you know that the next YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, that you know when we have future live streams with Yamaha. So definitely like and subscribe to Facebook and YouTube. I shouldn't have to say that, but I figured just a little healthy reminder.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Oh, yeah, duh. And looking forward to the next one, keyboard related Yamaha product that we have Blake on for.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, we have 24-month financing, 0% interest, and samash.com. We're carrying tons of gear. We understand in these times that some of you are still quarantining. Some of you can't go out and play gigs. So you're still doing music at home. Ourselves and Yamaha are doing our best to carry everything and get in your hands. And if we don't have some kind of Yamaha product yet, we will have it, because Yamaha is just pushing things out. They just want everyone to have Yamaha products. And again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. And keep following us on samash.com and our Facebook page and our socials to know when the next Yamaha event is. Blake, anything else you'd like to add?
No. Yeah, just, one thing you were saying that, the biggest thing at Yamaha, we want people to play music. That's the bottom line. So just, it is the one wonderful thing about being, our humanity is music. And that to me that's the heart and soul of what this company is really about, is wanting people to play music. So just enjoy that. And however you do it, production or playing or manipulating loops or DJ or whatever you do, anything like that to me is such a wonderful thing. So that's why I love this industry, and that's why I certainly love coming here with Sam Ash, who's been a retailer for, I don't know, 100 years. I mean,
almost.
It's really,
give
it's
us
got to be really cool.
We'll have that landmark.
Is it 1924? Right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And plus, it's funny. I was. And I just that to me is, there's a lot of legacy with Yamaha and Sam Ash here, but the bottom line is music. That's the thing. And so enjoy that, play more, and that's my one thing I would say.
Perfectly said, Blake. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and showing us everything and then some about the YC61. To all those viewing wherever, whether on phone or computer, home or in the car in a parking lot or at your friend's place, we hope to see you next time. Don't forget to shop at Sam Ash for all your music needs. And don't forget to buy Yamaha products for all your music needs. And we'll see you next time. Take care,
thanks
everyone.
a lot.
Take care, Blake.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.